find my ID. So I gotta place an O2 on this. That way they know to put the right apartment number on there. All right, guys, that's it. We just got back. So at this point, you just open your door, and then the unloaders will unload this truck, and it'll be good to go for tomorrow. So as you can see, since it's a little bit later, all the trucks are already back, already unloading them. We've only got one guy missing. He came in after me, which is crazy because he had way more stops, but yeah, that's how it works. Thanks for joining me on my trip. Stay tuned for some bonus footage. Alright, so I'm walking into the FedEx station now. I'm going to give you guys a little quick glimpse of what it's like when I walk in, what my truck looks like, etc. So I'm going to have to walk through security, so I'm going to put you in my lunchbox. So hang tight.
Yes. Now we have a new rule.
Yeah, because well, why wouldn't you bring your phone in?
We're not supposed to.
Oh, weird. Alright, so I just found out that apparently FedEx package handlers can't bring their phone in. Well, there's reason number one not to be a FedEx package handler, but drivers can bring their phones in, so don't worry about it. darling, don't you ever give up. Don't you ever give up. Don't you ever give up. Just to know. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you get here, what your truck looks like. Alright, so you've usually got a few oversized packages left, not a whole lot. And then you can see your truck is mostly loaded. The only thing they don't load is the smalls. So like the smalls and random big packages, sometimes they don't know exactly where you want them and they're not amazing at loading them, so they just let you do it, which is always better for you. But you've got all your packages in order. Right off the bat, I've got one from the wrong route, but other than that, they do a pretty good job. And you can see they put all the labels facing out. Now I had to train my loader to do that. I asked them nicely, I left them notes, I encouraged them via gift cards. It took a while. It took a couple months for them to start doing it exactly how I like it. It used to be so hard to find the packages I was looking for, so I kept giving them positive reinforcement, telling them they were doing a good job, thanking them, and finally they started doing a good job. So that's all for today. We'll catch back up with you later on. Hey guys, so I just finished my last day at FedEx ground. I have been here for just shy of 6 years, so it's been a wild ride. I figured I'd make a video on why I think this might be a good fit for you and why I think it's probably one of the most underrated jobs in my opinion. So the lighting here is not the best. Maybe it's going to turn out great on video, I don't know, but I just figured I'd start it from my truck, but I'm going to finish it back at my house with better lighting, so I will catch up with you then. All right guys, so we're in the station here now. I just got to my truck. Actually got here a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna show you the inside of my truck. I'm going to show you how it's loaded and how I load it to make sure that I can deliver as efficiently as possible. So here we go. So FedEx and UPS are very much alike. I don't know about Amazon. I don't feel like they have a very good system at all, at least from what I've seen when I'm out there. I usually see guys that are kind of lost in the sauce, and that's no offense to them. Their system's just not really up to par yet. But with FedEx, your deliveries will go in order. So you can see 1006. Now they're not always perfect order. So I might do 1006 and then I might do 1018 and then 1015. But for the most part, they're actually going to be in order. So I'll do 1004, 1006, 1015, 18. And it doesn't go every number. So it's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It allows room for extra stops. And you'll see all of my stickers are facing out. That's something that took me a little while to get my loader to do. They used to be on the top, on the side, all over. I used positive reinforcement. I used gift cards. I got here early and I encouraged them that they were doing a great job every time they put it on the outside of the box. And when they didn't put it on the outside of the box, I would do it right in front of them and be like, thank you so much for every box that you put it on the outside. It saves me so much time trying to look for that box. And sometimes they'd kind of roll their eyes at me, but over a period of like a month or so, every single box now is faced perfectly. Like for the last 6 months that I've been at this contract, every box is faced perfectly. And one thing that I've started teaching them too, and they do a really good job about it, I still have to help them occasionally, is they put, if the box is on the bottom floor, so if there's not enough room up here, they'll put them on the bottom floor. Then they put the sticker on top so I can still see which box it is. And you'll notice too how it says FL. When you're looking in your scanner, a lot of these boxes actually say FL, so I know it's on the floor. But some of them aren't going to be on the shelves, so they have to be on the floor. So you always know to check the shelves first, then check the floor. But if you're looking at your scanner and it says FL, you know you can go directly to the floor to look for it. So this is a really light day for me, just so you guys know. It's one of the reasons I'm taking time to film today. But usually your big boxes are going to be on the side of your truck. There was a lady sweeping, so I got them out of her way. So all of mine are right here. There's not a whole lot of them. And then you'll have what they call your smalls. All your smalls are basically all your like Lululemon, your t-shirts, your envelopes, anything that's kind of floppy and doesn't have any structure to it, they're going to put in these bins. And I'll show you in a minute how I organize those and then how I load them into my truck. All right, so I'll show you how I organize these guys. So what I do is I form like a semicircle. So 5 goes there, 7 goes there, 4, 5, 2, actually 5 there, 4 there, 2 there. And once you've done it so many times, you start to get pretty fast at it. 3, 5, 1, 3, 7, 6. So now by doing this, I'll load them on my truck in perfect order, and then I never have to look for a single package. It's exactly where I want it every single time. 3, 5, 3. All right, we'll go ahead and skip to where they're all in the right order, and then I'll show you how I load them. All right, now that I've got all my packages in a semicircle, all of the smalls are in proper order. Now what I do is I take the bins, I start at the highest number, so my 8s, then I grab my 7s, 6s, 5s. And like I said, guys, this is a light day. Normally this would take me like 2 bins, but it's a pretty light day, and that's one of the reasons I'm filming. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now that we've got them all like this, we'll take them into our truck Let's see if I can recenter this a little bit. So now that we've got all of our smalls right here, what we'll do is we'll grab one and we'll look for the exact number. This one's 1518, and we'll find exactly where it goes. So 1519, boom, put it next to it. Now, not every single one of these packages is in the exact order, but what I always do is I look for the closest number, and then so like for instance, since this is 1518, I always put it right in front of 1519. So at least I know that if I have 1518 and it's not in order, I'll always look for the next number and then it's right there. So 1001, boom, goes up front. 3515, so then yeah, so there's 3507, 3524, so I'll just shove this between there and I'll do that for the whole bin. So then a lot of guys will spend a lot of time looking for packages, and sometimes the problem is they're not on your truck. Sometimes you will get misloads. So what I do is I take the extra 5 minutes, I load my truck perfectly. Literally, there's not one package that's out of order or that is not like clearly right where, like in a general area of where it should be. So like I said, some of these aren't perfect, but if they're not perfect, they're right next to where they should be. Whereas with all these smalls, they're in perfect order. So when I'm out on my route, if it literally takes me more than 20 seconds to find a package, I know that it's not on my truck, so I just give up. And then sure enough, at the end of the day, it's not on my truck, it was misloaded, it's on somebody else's truck. It happens, but then that way I'm not spending 5 minutes at every stop looking for my packages. So that's pretty much all for loading, guys. I'm gonna finish up here. It'll take me a few more minutes and then I'll catch back up with you when I'm on the road. Okay, 2 more things that I forgot. One is when you're loading, you want to make sure that you tilt your boxes. So I'll show you what I mean. So your boxes should be tilted out on the ledge, so that way there's an angle to it. So that way when you hit a bump, they're not going to fall off. Obviously, if there's just one box and nothing on top, it's fine because it does have a lip. But if you have boxes like this that are like that, and then there's boxes on top, as soon as you hit a pothole or something, these boxes will just come sliding off. Cardboard is very slippery, so you want to make sure they're on the ledge like this, and then that way they stay pushed back to the back of the truck. And then other thing is, I always load all my smalls first, because sometimes what'll happen is you'll place all your extra big boxes. They're called ICUs here at FedEx. I can't remember the technical term for what ICU stands for, but it basically just means they're too large to go on the belt, so that way they don't come down the belt and smash all these smaller packages. But sometimes what will happen is you'll take these larger packages and you'll put them in the middle in order, and then you try to start doing your smalls, and then you're literally like tripping over them the whole day. Whereas if you do all your smalls and then you load your packages from the front to the back, your truck can be completely full. But it doesn't matter, because if you go in order, you're going to do 1000s first, and then you're going to do 1500s, and then you're going to do 2000s, 2500s, 3000s, 3500s, 4000s, 4500s, and so on. So that way there's packages on the floor, but you're not getting back there until the rest of it's already cleared off. I've talked to FedEx, I've talked to my manager. I think especially during peak season, excuse me, it should go 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 1500, 2500, 3500, 4500. That way you're actually going back at an even rate, because sometimes during Christmas what will happen is you've got a 1500 that's all the way back here, and you've got packages that are just stacked right here. So it would be better if you went 1, 2, 3, 4. But you know, it's a work in progress. It's a really good system. It works pretty well. So I understand they're kind of like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But during the holidays, it is kind of annoying. So anyways, I'll leave you with that. I'm gonna finish loading these large packages, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then I'll get on the road. All right guys, so we've officially got the entire truck loaded. I've got my smalls loaded, I've got my ICUs, my large packages loaded. I'll show you what that looks like. Again, today is a light day, but all the packages are in order, so I'm not gonna have to get to any of those packages before I've done the entire front of the truck. So these are all 1s and 2s. Those are 6, 7, 8s, and 9. There's no 9s on this truck today, but anyways, so that's what it looks like. I'll show you kind of what it looks like as we go throughout the day. It's going to be a pretty easy day. I have, I'll show you if this will focus. It won't, I don't think. But anyways, I have 132 stops and 162 packages, and that's also including 5 pickups. So it's actually only like 126, 127 stops. There's one pickup on there that's not supposed to be on there. And so anyways, it's gonna be a pretty light day, but I will catch you on the road. Ooh, sorry, that was loud. Gotta take this a little wide because there's a pole holding up the roof right there. Check our backup camera. Good to go. Alright guys, so I just got to my first stop. One thing I'm going to do throughout the day is just show you a few things that I love about this job. Things that I think a lot of people maybe don't realize, and then maybe I can kind of convince some people to work here. During my day, I'm going to point out a few things that I think is cool about this job, things that I think are kind of unusual from most jobs. And one of them is the fact that you can pretty much start whenever you want to. Now, obviously, when I say pretty much, there's some flexibility there. So once you gain rapport with your contractor, they trust you as an independent contractor to deliver your route in an efficient manner and be done at a reasonable time. And when I say reasonable, honestly, as long as you're back by like 10 p.m., nobody bothers you, nobody cares. Obviously, you try not to make it back that late, but for instance, I knew I was going to be filming today. I had to buy a few things for my GoPro. I took time to film, you know, my truck, and I'm new to filming, so it took longer than it should have. I stopped and started the camera a lot, but I'll show you guys real quick. But if you can see down there, that's my first stop. Once I press complete on the map, it'll take me to my second stop, and then my third and fourth and fifth, and so on and so forth. So it's a pretty good system. The nice thing about it is you can kind of control it. So like every once in a while, you know, it'll be off. It'll have me go here, and then it'll have me go right next door, but like 10 houses later. So you can kind of skip around a little bit, but it's super efficient. Back when I started, you had MapQuest papers, literally a chunk of MapQuest papers, and stop by stop by stop. And you would be like on the 5th page and found out that you had a stop where you were an hour ago, but it was on the left-hand side of the road, and they only want you to deliver on the right. Well, that makes sense on like a busy highway or a busy road, but it would be like on a cul-de-sac or something crazy. So anyways, it's a pretty good system. I'm gonna get started. I'll show you guys a few like point of view as I'm delivering, and then I'll kind of show you my truck, show you from, you know, the start to how it ends up, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good one. So here we go. First example of the day. I don't have a package that I'm supposed to have unless, nope. So we know it's not on my truck. And that is how you save time when you load the truck yourself. I know for a fact that it's not on here unless it's in like an extremely wrong location, which I don't think it is because I went through everything. Worst case scenario, you find it later on in the day and you go back and deliver it. All right guys, so I just got to my first house that has a heavy package. One thing I hear a lot of drivers complain about, I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it on Instagram, I've seen it on YouTube, is they complain about the heavy boxes. They complain about the chewy and just these like oversized heavy boxes. And I remember when I first started, it kind of drove me crazy too. There's some days where it's just like, it's the last thing you want to do is deliver a heavy box. But then I kind of shifted my mindset and I realized, you know what, on an average day, it's about 10 boxes per day. So 10 stops that are gonna kind of suck. And then once you're done with those 10, it's over. So the way I look at it is, you know, this is only like my 4th or 5th stop and I've got a heavy box. So boom, I've already got one knocked out of the day. Now, like I said, today's a light day, so I've only got like 6 or 7. Some days I might have 20, but still 20, it's like 20 stops out of 200. It's usually about 10% of your day. So I'm gonna deliver this box real quick and I'll have one knocked out, and then we'll have a whole lot of light ones to do, and then we'll have one more heavy one and then a whole lot of light ones. So it's really easy when you change your mindset, and you get a little bit of a workout as well. So here we go. Okay, there you have it guys. I'm not gonna lie, that one was pretty heavy. I looked on the label, it said 120 pounds. I have a dolly, I chose not to use it, and it is what it is. On to the next stop. quick little lesson. I'm at these parcel lockers, and Amazon, FedEx, UPS, USPS, pretty sure they do as well. We all have different codes so we can put boxes in there, and so that way the customer knows their package is secured. Now, a lot of these customers at this apartment, for whatever reason, their names aren't in the system, and this apartment's kind of annoying to deliver to, but that's our job. Well, I just got here and there was a package here I was going to show you. That guy was just walking away. He was really mad because UPS just dropped it off and they just put it on the floor right by the door. And this door is open like most of the day, so anybody could just walk by and grab it. So, and there's no cameras in here. A lot of these will have cameras. This one doesn't have any. So UPS, this is the one time I can tell you, do better. Those guys are usually pretty good, but not now. All right, so thanks to Amazon, a lot of these apartments have these package lockers. The only unfortunate thing, I don't know if you guys can see that, is a lot of the customers here don't have their name in the system. So it's kind of annoying, but anybody that does, it saves us so much time. And then that way, you know, nobody's gonna steal your locker, or excuse me, steal your package off your front door. But this just saves us so much time. There are days when I'm able to come here and deliver like 20 packages in like 15 minutes. And for an apartment complex, that's pretty fast, especially for this one, because it's really confusing. So anyways, I only was able to deliver 2 today. We'll deliver the rest by foot. Hey guys, pickup number 1. I have 5 pickups today. And actually this one accounts for 2 of them. For some reason, they put it in twice. All right, done with stop 1, and technically 2. All right guys, so checking back in with you. It's now been just over 2 hours. I have done 53 stops. It doesn't look like much more, and that's because of my pickups. I've done a few of the 3000s. I did them out of order, but I did quite a few of the 7000s, and I did some of the 6000s. So the only thing that sucks about getting started this late, and it's nice to have that flexibility, but when you do get started this late, at least for my route, I have about 5 to 7 businesses that close at between 5 and 6 p.m. So I wanted to make sure I got those done. So I raced around my whole entire route. So then it slows down your delivery rate by quite a bit. So I've now got 91 stops left, and that means I can do that in about 3 hours. So I'll still be done by 8:30. I started delivering at 3, so it's still not a big deal. So here's what it looks like after 2 hours. I will update you guys in about an hour. I'll see you then. All right, guys, I am back. It has officially been 1 more hour. Let me look at my scanner. I already forgot. I have 54 left. 54 stops left. So I did 35. I forget how many. I know I had like almost 90 left. So I did about 35 in that hour. That's pretty typical for me in this neighborhood. Obviously not when I'm filming and I'm stopping and I'm trying to record things, but 35 an hour is pretty typical. So I'll definitely be done in 2 more hours, which will put me done at about 8:20. So I'll show you my truck. This is how it's looking. That shelf almost completely done. This shelf, these are all pickups, so that shelf's done. So we've just got a little bit of 5 left, 7, 8, pretty much all of 8 still left. None of 8's been done, and then most of 6 hasn't been done. So the reason we did 3s ahead of time is just, excuse me, 3s. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been 1 more hour. I have done 35 in the past hour. So I have 54 left, 54, 53 left. I think there's one on there that's not supposed to be on there. It's that one that wasn't, it's not on my truck. Remember earlier we couldn't find it. So anyways, this is what my shelves look like. We're getting pretty close to done. We've done a lot of the bigger ones. All of shelf 4, almost all of shelf 3. One of these packages was just way out of order. Every once in a while you'll find that. You'll be doing stops and then it'll want you to drive like 3 miles for one stop. So basically this package should be like way over in another section. So we'll get it done. But anyways, that's where we're at. I'm gonna get back to running. I've got about 2 hours left, and I'll catch up with you then. Whew. All right guys, so I'm done. That last little bit took just a little bit longer. It is 8:25, a little bit longer than I thought it would take. It was just more spread out. So there was only like 10 stops and like 5 or 6 different communities. So it was like driving almost a mile between every stop, which the one bad thing too about having a light day is you still do all the same amount of driving. You still zigzag through every single neighborhood. You still turn at every light. You still do all that, like you put almost the exact same miles on your truck every single day. The difference is you just make less money. So I'm a big fan of like 160 to 200 on a regular day. And then when peak season comes, I'm happy about the craziness because that just means more money. So anyways, I'll show you my truck. There's that one stop I didn't get. That's a pickup. The rest is all pickups. And then this one right here is what's called an O2. It goes to an apartment, but it did not have an apartment number. So that's it for now. We're gonna drive back to the station and then I'll close it out there. Catch you there. Always be careful, guys, because idiots are everywhere. Yikes. All right guys, so as you may notice, it's a different day. I'm wearing a hat today. I was supposed to get a haircut this morning. I got there and they said they were too busy. They had like an hour wait. I wasn't gonna wait that long, so my batteries died last night, and I know that I ended the video with the fact that there would be bonus footage. I don't know what I meant by that, but what I actually meant or what I think I meant was, during the day I was supposed to talk a little bit more about like the things I liked about this job, why I think it's an incredible job. And so I'm gonna do that now that I have a full battery, now that I just finished my last day at FedEx. My last day as a FedEx home delivery driver was today. Stay tuned and you'll find out a little bit more about that. Okay guys, I'm back. So I want to get out of here. It's my last day here, but I want to see, I could start the video over, but I'm not going to, because I've done that too many times. I'm just going to run with it. I want to tell you guys some of the things that I love about this job, and the number one thing that I love about this job is freedom. Absolute freedom. I am not one that loves to be micromanaged. I am not one that loves to be constantly checked in on, to have managers that inquire how my day is going. Drives me nuts. FedEx Ground, especially my contractors, all the ones I've ever worked for, they don't ask you questions, they don't text you, they don't check in with you, they don't bother you. You just come to work, you do your job, and then you leave. You can take as long as lunch as you want. You don't have to take a lunch. You can take a break if you want. You don't have to take a break. You can take 10 breaks throughout the day. Like if it's a nice day and you see a nice park and you want to go lay in the grass, go lay in the grass. Like park your truck somewhere safe, turn on the hazards, like lock your truck, whatever. But there's so many things that you can do that you just couldn't do with another job. I will get a haircut on my route if I want to. I will drop off my dry cleaning on my route and then pick it up on my way home. There's just so many things that I couldn't do at a regular, typical 9-to-5 job that I can do here. Another thing that I don't think people realize, sometimes people are like, oh man, you're out really late. And I'm not gonna lie to them. I'm not gonna tell them that it's a heavy day. When it was a light day, I just didn't wanna come in until later. So I'll just be like, yep, sure am. But today I got here at 1:30 p.m. So I got off, it's now like 9:30. So it took me 8 hours. And that's because I was trying to record some today as well. And I took my time. It was my last day. I said goodbye to businesses. I said goodbye to some of the kids that I like on my route. Certain people, I just took some time to make sure I said goodbye and said this is probably the last time I'd see them for a while. So people don't realize that once your contractor trusts you, you can pretty much set your own schedule. You can come in when you want to, and you can go as fast or as slow as you want to. The only like hard deadlines are you have to do pickups at a certain time, you have to do businesses before they close, and you have to be back to the station at a specific time. Now each station's a little bit different. When I was in Vegas, they wanted me back by like 9:30. Here in Phoenix, they want you back by 10:30. And that's because that's when their conveyor belts shut off. That's when that shift ends. So then those boxes wouldn't get on the outward bound trucks. So anyways, number one thing I love about this job is the time freedom and the actual freedom of just doing whatever you want. All right guys, what's up? So I'm back. As you may have noticed, it is a completely different day. Last night I was ready to record my next part of the video, and I had my camera all set up, and it was actually, I felt like it was a pretty cool angle. I was at the back of a 24-foot truck, and it was like you could see almost all of the truck, and so it almost looked like Inception, especially with the wide angle lens. And then as soon as I was about to start recording, the next shift came in and they started blaring music. So at that point I couldn't really film anywhere, and I tried to like find other places in the warehouse or near the truck that would like make sense, and it was either too close to the conveyor belt, so it was so loud, or it was just like I was in some random corner of a warehouse, so it didn't make sense. So then I went out to my car, and the lighting in the parking lot was so dark and I couldn't get it light enough in my car, and by that point I was just done. I was like, okay, I'm going home, going to sleep. So anyways, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the pay. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I don't want to give you the wrong numbers, but since yesterday was my last day at FedEx, it wasn't a full week, and the last 2.5 weeks haven't been full weeks because I was supposed to start 3 weeks ago at my new job, and every time something happened with my background, like the company they used to hire, it was just a mess. But it's finally all cleared up. I'm starting Monday, But so my last full week was a 5-day work week. I worked Tuesday through Saturday. I try to avoid Sunday and Mondays. At least here in Phoenix, those are the slowest days. And because I was leaving, I had that privilege. Before that, I was working like 6 days a week. So anyways, 5-day work week. I'm gonna have this pop up on the video. I think I'm gonna do my best. My total pay was $1144.90, and I took home $929.63, so $929.63. Now, I know to some of you that seems like not very much money at all. Some people that seems like a lot of money. To me, it's a good amount of money, but the thing is the freedom that came with that money. My average time getting to work that week was probably like 12 p.m. I'm a night person, so I like to take my time in the morning. I'm more of a night owl, so I would literally get up, I would go get a breakfast burrito, I would do a load of laundry, like sometimes I'd go get my hair cut, you know, like I just take my time. So anyways, to me, that's a good amount of money when you're not working more than 40 hours every day. So I'm trying to think of a lot of things at once. Every day I would work about 7.5 hours as my normal. Now there's a lot of days where I can get done from the time I get to the work to the time I get back. I can do it in 7 hours, but I feel like my average with that amount of money, the amount of stops I did, is 7.5 hours. So if I got there at noon, I would be back at 7:30 every day. If I got back later, which I did multiple days, I'd get back like 8, 8:30, no big deal. 9, no big deal. 9:30, not a big deal. And some people are like, oh, that's so late. Well, they don't realize is I do all the signatures first. I do all of the businesses first, and then I do all of the perishables first. And I don't mean first as in like first part of my day, but I do them all before like 7 or 8 p.m. Signatures, I try to get done before 7. Just because I don't want to be knocking on somebody's door. Whereas with like food deliveries and stuff, I still try to get them done early, but if I can't, almost everybody I deliver to, they get an email. Like half the time I'm in my truck, I scan a package and I mark it delivered, and then I set my scanner down, I grab the package, and then I'm walking to the door and somebody's opening the door and they're like, hey, I just got the email. And it's like, are you really that bored? But anyways, so to me, the most important things about this job were the time freedom, and you make enough money that there's no stress on your life. So you're not making an exorbitant amount of money, but you're also not stressed financially. The last thing I want to talk about is the people. It might sound cheesy, it might sound whatever, but one of my favorite things about this job is getting to know the communities that I would deliver to. So one of my favorite things is driving down the road, and almost every single day, multiple times a day, you see a kid that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They like get their mom and dad's attention, and mom, look, a big truck. And then I would always drive by and I'd honk the horn and wave. And when I do that, they would get the biggest kick out of it. Sometimes if I could tell the mom or dad was super into like, oh, look at big truck, you know, like super into it, I would stop and I would let them see my truck. I've had kids get up into my truck. Now, if you work for corporate, it doesn't really matter. Yesterday was my last day, but I would let people get up in my truck, look at my truck. I'd let kids sit in the seat, you know, honk the horn, whatever. That's the best part of my day. And you get to learn people's schedules and stuff. And so I would know like, hey, they're not going to be home to sign for a package until this time or this, or I know that they work on the weekends. Or so sometimes I would show up and be like, hey, I know you're not going to be here tomorrow, yada yada. So I stopped here early because I wanted to make sure I got it before you went to bed. And they're just like so appreciative. And just building that community of like trust, people start to really appreciate you, and you develop a relationship with these people. And it sounds weird, but there's certain people you see every day where they're walking their dog and they smile and they wave at you, and it's like they're part of my day every day. And you get to feel like this kinship between you, and you almost feel like friends. So anyways, if you're thinking about a job at FedEx Ground, feel free to comment. I can steer you clear of a lot of bad jobs, because not every FedEx Ground job is the same. If I were you, I would try to, I'll just give you a couple pointers. I would try to find a home delivery route, because you're mostly doing residential. Businesses are fine, but they really don't pay as well. And I've seen some guys on here that work for FedEx Ground, and like they show their paycheck and it's terrible. Like one guy, I'm not trying to put him down or anything, but he does the same job I do. It's just as hard, and he's making $18 an hour. Whereas I usually average $30 an hour. And sometimes during peak season, I'm averaging more like $40 an hour. I had one peak season last year where my average was $48 per hour based on the amount of hours I was putting in, based off what I was taking home. No, not taking home, my net pay. So I was making like $45 per hour for my net pay, and then my take home was still like close to 40. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I was all over the place. I know it was my first time videoing, but if you want to find out why I'm leaving FedEx Ground and what I'm doing next, stay tuned for the next video, and I will talk to you then.